The following program is paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Fresno on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Now, live in studio, your host, local real estate expert, Craig Barton.
Good morning, Central Valley. I'm your host, Craig Barton, and welcome to the Real Estate Radio Network, the most important hour of radio each week, here on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Real Estate Radio is a show dedicated to bringing some rational thought to the crazy world that we live in and helping you to rebuild the Central Valley's housing and credit markets. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted advice, and that's exactly what you're going to hear every Sunday morning from 7 to 8 a.m. right here on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Thanks so much for joining us. Sal, it's extremely important that you look interested about our topic this morning.
Good morning,
The studio
everybody.
has eyes, buddy. Oh, well, good morning, Michelle.
Dancing shoes. Oh, hi. Good morning. I was telling
Do tell. How does
Sal
that
to
work?
get on his dancing shoes.
Oh, he'd get on his dancing shoes.
We're doing a little tap today about HUD Homes.
Yes, we are. We're going to go over some of the benefits of buying some of these HUD homes. I just got to wake up this morning.
Coffee. Where's the coffee? Somebody get him some coffee.
You know, occasionally we resemble that remark.
Yeah, no kidding.
As always, it's so good to have my special guest host, Michelle Lynn Pettis, here in the studio with us. Good morning.
Good morning. How
That's
are you?
old, that's old copy, so that's why
Yeah, I
it
keep
has
scratching
it
out
has
the
your
old name, and like someday he will know who I am.
Yeah, no, I do. I have a pretty firm grip on who you are.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Good morning, Craig.
Good morning. It's we're also really fortunate, as you heard me mention earlier. We've got Sal Hernandez from Valleywide Homes, our local HUD Homes expert.
Well, thank you very much for that introduction. Well, I'll try to live up to it here.
No pressure, buddy.
None.
No pressure at all. Well, the Real Estate Radio Network gives us the opportunity to reach so many people efficiently for one full hour each and every week. Our goal at the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you, our listeners, the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate market so we can help bring you
Back home.
Well, on today's show, as we mentioned, we are going to tell you everything you need to know and some secret tips about how you can buy a HUD home. And what is a HUD home? Who can buy one? Well, we've got, again, as we mentioned, Sal Hernandez, our local HUD Homes expert from Valleywide Homes, here in the office with us. I have to say, Sal's only been involved in it over a couple hundred HUD transactions easily. So we definitely have an expert with us in the studio today. We're also going to take some listener questions. Make sure you stay with us. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that you hear on our show, it all starts with one call. Call us anytime, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. You can also go to our website. Check out our resources online. You can also begin searching for your new home, right, Michelle? Mm-hmm. Of the 11 properties that are available out on the market
I think
today.
we went up to 12 yesterday.
We have 12? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow, that's
Back
good
down
news.
to 10 tomorrow, I'm
Go
sure.
to Valley... Yeah, exactly. Just as quickly as they come on, they go off. Mm-hmm. Go to valleywidesells.com. To friend us on Facebook, use Press 4 Keywords.
Friend Valleywide on Facebook.
Or use Press 4 Keywords.
KMJ, call Valleywide.
To call into the show anytime. We really would love to hear from you guys. Well, today's hot property is brought to you by Perfect Inspections. Residential, multifamily, commercial. Use Press 4 Keywords, Perfect Home Inspections, or call Dale today for your perfect home inspection at 352-6941. Again, that's 352-6941. Today's hot property just so happens to be, Sal, a HUD home. Right up your alley, buddy. Property address is 6519 North Mariposa Street, Fresno, California, 93720. This HUD home is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,845 square foot home, built in 1971. Appraised, let's see here. Appraised,
185,
yeah,
I believe.
185.
It's a great home.
Yeah.
I've been out there quite a few times over the last week.
Yeah.
It's got a newer kitchen. They've redone the kitchen.
The
New
kitchen
cabinets.
is amazing looking, yeah. New
I mean, it
cabinets
really is a nice house. And it has a pool with a diving board and a slide. But don't tell your insurance agent. It's It's a really cool house, and it's a Fresno and Herndon. It's a
There you
great.
go.
I think it's a mansionette, if I'm not mistaken. Is it
My guess
mansionette?
is
Bonadelli?
it is. Yeah, it is a Bonadelli mansionette.
Yeah, I mean it's a great house and very very popular style with a double door entry. Yeah, real nice, really nice. If I wanted to live in Fresno, I might even offer on that.
There you go. Well, it is owner-occupied or owner-occupants only during the first 30 days. The bidding deadline is daily on this particular home. Again, as Michelle mentioned, it was appraised for $185,000, so that would save you if you're a buyer, or save your client if you're an agent, roughly the cost of an appraisal report, which is valued at about $450.
Nice house.
Yeah. The appraisal is completely 100% portable, so you can actually carry it to your lender and they can use it.
I can't wait till Sal tells us more about how to buy this HUD home.
Again, if you'd like more information about today's hot property, please give us a call anytime. 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. Or use press 4 keywords.
KMJ Hot Property.
And we'll send you more information about this hot property right to your phone. Look for more hot properties each week right here on the Real Estate Radio Network. Well, top stories in the news. Again, our active inventory tops.
We have what?
We have active inventory. As you mentioned, we have...
I don't know what you're talking about. I've been out there looking. There's not much left.
Who am I pitching this false bill of goods to?
Yeah.
Yeah. Currently, 1,125 active listings in Fresno County, which equals roughly about 1.6 months worth of inventory.
We were at 1.5 months last week, weren't we?
Yeah, we were.
We went at 0.1 month.
Yeah, 0.1.
Which is 3 days.
That's not saying a whole lot.
10% of a month, yeah.
Right.
3 days.
Yeah, and in today's active inventory, roughly we have 68 active short sales, which account for 6.04%. 109 REOs, or foreclosure properties, accounting for 9.68%, and 940 traditional listings. They're classified as traditional listings, so we hope that's accurate, which accounts for 85.14% of our total active inventory in today's market.
A lot of people putting their houses up. They're not real negotiable right now, though.
Yeah.
It is definitely a seller's market out there. Those 940 may be there for a little while if they're not careful.
If they're not careful.
If they're not looking at the market. Check out your neighborhood before you list your house.
Well, sellers, are calling the shots on home deals nowadays. I think we'd all concur that it is, as you just mentioned, Michelle.
Seller's market.
Nice little transition there.
Sorry, I didn't really know that was coming next.
Well, you acted like you did.
Yeah, I didn't. But, I'm so smart I did. Sorry. My mistake.
Yeah, well, in a dramatic about face for the housing market, sellers are... You notice how I just breezed right over that. Yeah, sellers are now calling the shots. Actually, sellers have been calling the shots for the last couple of years in Fresno's market.
That's true.
But it's getting a bit more competitive as of late. Well, a survey of more than 2,000 Americans found that 33% of the 365 who were searching for a home, or the 365 that were surveyed, that were also searching for a home, have been on the hunt for more than a year. Now, they did lose a few clients.
Thinking so.
Yeah, they ended their search rather
a year?
abruptly. Yeah, for more than a year, and many were willing to make compromises on where they better be willing to make compromises on where we're willing to live or the type of home that they were looking to purchase.
It's amazing, though. It's amazing.
Yeah.
In this market, the buyers that are not swaying from their priority list.
Right. If you're not flexible or pliable in today's market, the market has a way of either chewing you up and spitting you out,
or making you wait a year,
or making you wait. There you go. Or transforming your mindset, as this particular article says.
Interesting.
Yeah. Currently, there are 2.16 million existing homes for sale, down 13.6% from 12 months earlier.
Wow.
Nationally.
We're way down beyond that.
Yeah,
That's okay.
we are like...
We're over 50% down.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily. I'd say we're probably somewhere in the ballpark of about 35 to 38% of what we were 18 months ago.
Yeah. Interesting. 2.16 million existing homes for sale. That's interesting. That's not new construction either.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's funny you mentioned that, because I was pulling into my neighborhood, and I live in a Groundville neighborhood down in Sunnyside, and it is just astounding at how fast the houses are going up. Oh my gosh.
They're putting them up, and there's already a waiting list for new homes as well.
Yeah. Easily.
And no guarantee of pricing.
True.
Because the pricing's going to go up as the homes go up.
Of course.
So that'll be interesting to watch.
As demand continues to push prices up. Well, did you know also that the LA Times are reporting recently that FHA, or the Federal Housing Administration, could stop charging extra interest on mortgage payoffs? Now, I'm sure you're asking, so what do you mean by extra?
Well, I find that kind of
interest?
interesting because you can't pay the interest. You aren't charged the interest until after it transpires in a mortgage.
Correct.
So how are they charging it if it hasn't transpired
Well,
yet?
yeah, exactly. Well, a little known.
I mean, legally, you're not supposed to.
Yeah. Well, this is the federal government. We're
That's
talking
right.
about.
There's no laws. Okay, I forgot.
Thank you. Exactly. We are exempt, or they are exempt.
They are exempt.
Did you know that every time you pay off an FHA loan or a VA loan, that interest is charged in monthly increments? So, as an example, if you
the whole 30 days.
Yeah, if you pay off your mortgage on the 15th of a month, you still pay interest through the end of that month.
Then did they return it to you?
No. They
just keep
collect.
it.
They keep it. So just like you'd find on a conventional loan, the interest is charged per diem or per day. Whereas with FHA financing, interest or FHA, VA, USDA financing, all government-insured programs, it's all charged on a monthly basis. So regardless of whether you pay it off on the 5th or the 30th. Why is that?
Because their process was so much slower than the private market years ago.
Yeah.
It was just easier to charge 30 days at a chunk because they knew by the 30-day mark they'd get there.
I just thought it was easier. They probably assumed it was easier just to round it up.
Well, yeah, that's my point.
That's your point?
And the
Okay.
paper shuffle and whatnot, they couldn't be as... But it's illegal for the banks to charge you that way. Like, there'd be a lawsuit over that. I'm just saying.
I think you're right on.
Just saying. Ben, check the rule book.
There you go. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions, why is the government exempt? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, the rule applies to all of you.
And I'm a very patriotic person. I probably don't sound like it, but I really am, just so you know. But it starts to,
To grate on you after
a little bit.
Yep.
No playing by our rules.
That's okay. Stay on your soapbox. I appreciate it. It helps keep things colorful around here. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that you hear on our show or that Michelle and Sal and myself share with you today, call us anytime, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to get your input. We'd love to take your questions and hopefully provide some answers for you. You can also go to our website. Check out our resources online. You can also listen to past shows from the Real Estate Radio Network by going to YouTube or our website at valleywidesells.com. Again, that's valleywidesells.com. The name says it all. To friend us on Facebook, use Press 4 Keywords.
Friend Valley Wide on Facebook.
Or use Press 4 Keywords.
KMJ, call Valley Wide.
To call into us anytime. We'd love to hear from you. Well, coming up, we're going to take a look at HUD Homes. Exactly what is a HUD Home and who can buy a HUD Homes. And again, we mentioned we have Sal Hernandez, local listing broker and HUD Home expert here in the studio with us this morning. Make sure you stay with us. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping you to redefine real estate here on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Mortgage interest rates are at historic lows, and there's never been a more affordable time to buy real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let the mortgage professionals at Valley Wide help. Valley Wide Homes has been helping homeowners with their mortgage needs since 1997. When it comes to the Valley's real estate, we know our way around the neighborhood. Call toll-free, 800-979-3958, and put the seasoned professionals at Valley Wide Homes to work for you. Valley Wide Homes, NMLS number 342062, 235-952, California Department of Real Estate License 0122-8460. Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use Press 4 Keywords, Arise Solar.
Did you know that all the tickets you can buy on different websites come from the same place? Did you know that you can buy every ticket you need to any event in the country? The whole country, from Pete's Seats right here in Fresno. If that's the case, you need to call Pete's Seats. Any ticket, anytime. Sports, concerts, theater. Hey, there's seats, and then there's Pete's Seats. Premium tickets for all events, local, national, worldwide. Don't settle for a regular seat when you can get a really good Pete's Seat. Online at PeteSeats.net or simply 294-SEAT. That's 294-7328.
How much should I be saving? When can I retire? What can I do to ensure that my estate will be left in the hands of my family once I'm gone? Is my hard-earned money safe in today's markets?
With all the uncertainty in today's world, all of us at the Island Group know it is our job to provide answers to these questions. Walk with us, the Island Group at UBS Financial Services. Call me, Kate Island, at 559-248-4097. That's 559-248-4097, and take the first step in protecting your financial future.
All rights reserved. UBS Financial Services, Inc. is a subsidiary of UBS AG. Member SIPC.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, Michelle, as we mentioned before the break, we have Sal Hernandez, a local listing broker and HUD Home expert, here in the studio with us this morning. Sal, thanks so much for getting up with us, buddy.
Thank you for having me here. Today we're going to hopefully go over and answer some questions and find out some of the great opportunities in buying these HUD homes.
We are going to, you bring up a great point. Great buys.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, overall it's one of the best buys, the easiest process, and it's pretty straightforward, and you get some deals, and you'll be able to get into a house and not have to compete against investors here.
Yeah, perfect.
That's a huge piece in the market right now. Let's talk about that. I'm very curious when you say that, not compete with investors, because we talk every week about how competitive this market is and how many investors are scooping up properties where they can and overbidding, etc.
Yeah,
Why is it that I'm not competing with an investor on a HUD home?
I mean, on HUD homes, the main focus of a HUD home is for home ownership. It's striving home ownership. So what HUD does is they set the boundaries, the guidelines in only allowing buyers that are going to occupy the property to bid on the property during the first initial bid period. So it keeps investors out. With the shortage of properties out on the market, you got investors that are coming from everywhere. It doesn't matter what city you're in California.
They're all coming to Fresno.
They're Fresno,
Where
LA.
you hail from.
I just had an investor from LA, over the weekend on Father's Day, actually. He's down from LA. We were looking at properties here.
Happy Father's Day, Sal.
Thank you.
A week late.
Working on Father's Day.
Yeah, we were working on Father's Day, and, we were looking at properties for him to invest in. And, investors are coming through. He actually seen a couple HUD homes, and I had to tell him, sorry, you can't bid on
You
these.
slapped his hand, didn't you?
Burst his bubble.
These are only available for owner occupants, which he was kind of upset because it was a great deal
Tell
to
him
him.
down, boy.
Yeah. So it was a great deal.
This one is not for you.
That's how ultimately, owner occupants have that priority.
Right.
And that's one of the best things about HUD homes. It makes it gives them a home to be able to purchase and not have to compete against these investors that are coming in with cash.
So they're only competing against other owner occupants,
yes.
right? Initially, at least.
Initially.
And for that period of time, that is during the first 30 days, just to clarify.
Only for the first 30 days on properties that will qualify for FHA-insured loans. If a property doesn't qualify for an FHA-insured loan, the owner-occupant still has a priority period of 5 days to bid on that property.
Gotcha.
And then it's opened up to investors. So it still gives them that opportunity not to have to compete against investors.
Yeah, last weekend I was taking some of our calls for the office and took some HUD calls. And the gentleman who wanted to see the home had his schedule conflicted with mine, so he was trying to send his daughter out. And I thought it was so interesting, and it was on this Mariposa property that we have as our hot property today. I said, well, hold tight, relax. The bids are not going to be done or not going to be reviewed until next weekend, so take a breath. Let's re-coordinate. Let's look at our schedules. Let's see if we can fix it, where we can meet together, because your daughter isn't the one buying the property. You are, and you need to see the property. So it's nice that we have that viewing period, too.
Yes,
to show
and that's
property.
something we'll go into. One of the things is you don't have to run out and look at it the first day. As a regular sale comes on the market now, and you're in a hurry to get out there because
10
within
people,
that first or second day, it's going to be sold.
Yeah,
because there's so many offers on it.
Yeah.
HUD does structure it so that everybody's able to view the home, and that way you can go in and make a bid according to your overall consideration of the property.
So for the first 10 days, don't kill yourself. Make sure,
time.
obviously, that you're pre-approved.
Yes.
And get out there with your agent, see the property. So it gives you 10 days to view the property, ensure that you're pre-approved if you haven't already done so, and then structure your bid, and then have your agent submit the bid for you.
Exactly. Have your agent submit the bid for you. And you start asking yourself, how do these homes come about? Well, HUD homes in general are homes that have been foreclosed on a federally insured loan. So that is why once the federal government once the bank forecloses on a property and it's on a federally insured loan, the housing authorities reimburses or pays off the insurance for the property to the bank. Then it becomes a HUD home. So again, this is the government working for us. When everybody starts talking about the government, and
Come on,
saying,
Michelle.
Was that a dig at me?
Was
that a dig?
I think it was aimed.
I think it was aimed at me.
They set up
Wow.
an opportunity, again, to keep investors out the first bidding part during that process, and they give that home ownership that opportunity for people that are actually going to live in the house and not rent it out. Mm-hmm. So that's one good thing they're doing for us.
I'm feeling a little attacked right now, but I'm going to let him continue.
Somebody's a little
I'm not going to
sensitive
kick him
this one.
yet.
So in terms of the steps, we talked about, first and foremost, you got to make sure that you're pre-approved. Before anyone goes out and takes a look at a property, it's so important. I always call it informed consent, because as a consumer, number one, you need to have you need to know exactly where you're at as far as your credit's concerned. But secondarily, in terms of maximum purchasing power, and that may not, your maximum purchasing power may not be where you want to be in terms of your monthly housing payment, including principal and interest, taxes, insurances, and FHA required mortgage insurance. So,
yeah, you need to be pre-qualified. That's one of that's actually the first step, regardless if it's a HUD home or any type of transaction. You need to know, you need to know your limits. What's the max amount you can purchase for? You don't want to be looking at a $700,000 home when all you can afford is a $150,000 or $200,000 home. They're not going to compare. So you do it for twofold. Is you don't want to get disappointed when you're looking at the $700,000 house and you try to compare it to the $200,000 house. It's going to be a big difference.
Somewhat of a letdown, right?
Yeah, it'll be somewhat of a letdown.
Yeah,
and I say that from
understatement.
experience, because I've had buyers that they really want to go out, look at a house, and I've taken them out. I know I've taken them out
You
without
got
being
suckered.
pre-approved. And
Just this once. I promise I'll never do it
Yeah.
again.
they look at the $300,000 home.
get excited.
They get pre-approved, and they only got pre-approved for $250.
I compare it to.
There goes their dream home.
Yeah, you know what I compare that to?
What's that?
It's like a woman who's going to go to the prom or going to go to some big formal event, and they go to Bloomingdale's and they try on the outfit and they pick out the shoes and they do everything and they've got it all dialed in, and then they go look at their bank account and they need to be shopping at Walmart. How disappointing is that? How disappointing is that? I mean, honestly, that is so true, and that's what I try to tell buyers is, let's get you pre-approved. I don't want to take you and show you something and you fall in love with it and then us not be able to get it for you. That's so discouraging for the consumer.
And
so it's really
with
necessary.
loans the way they are nowadays, I mean, you never know what might come up. You always want to get
Yeah.
pre-approved first. And one of the important
Absolutely.
things for buyers to remember, just because you get pre-approved for $1 million loan doesn't mean you have to buy $1 million home.
That's a good point.
Okay? And so, I mean, I think that's where a lot of buyers get scared. Why do I want to get pre-approved? I'm not, I don't want to buy that $1 million home. And so, I mean, the main thing getting pre-approved is know what your max is.
Gotcha.
If you get pre-approved for $1 million, you can buy a $100,000 home with no problems. You just discuss that with your realtor, let your realtor know what the max is, and that way your realtor has an idea of what he needs to be showing you, him or her need to be showing you in order to get you into the house that you want.
Right.
Now, once you've been pre-approved, can you contact any agent to...
Yes, you can contact any agent to show you a house on HUD Homes. You do have to have your HUD NAID number, which is a number that HUD designates to be able to track the brokerage firm to be able to submit offers. If the agent you're dealing with does not have a HUD NAID number, they are not going to be able to sell you that HUD home. You will have to deal with an agent that has that. So in other words, you can call me.
Wow.
No, but any local real estate agent can help you. If you're a real,
That was interesting.
I like that selfish plug he just did.
slid that right
He
in.
did. He
Just
did.
calls
His
out.
number is. No.
if you're working with a realtor that does not have a HUD NAID number, have them give us a call. Have them give me a call. We'll help them out. We'll help them walk them through the process so that you can bid on that home.
And honestly, I think it's important that you say that.
Yes.
Any agent out there who needs help with HUDs, do call us.
Yes, call
All of
us.
us.
We'll
Any
be
of us
able
at
to
our
help you.
office, you'll get some guidance and some information.
Yes.
Don't be afraid. We're not stealing your client.
And I think you bring up a good point. Because
Agent, call us.
We don't want any, and Sal echoes this, we don't want any agent and I mean this generally.
Who doesn't believe that they're...
Agents are our friends.
Yes.
Agents are an extension, or we consider an extension of our staff, regardless of who you work for. It's extremely important you understand that we want to
Yes,
help.
I've had actual buyers call me and say, you know what, we were looking at this house. It's a HUD home. My agent said he couldn't sell it to us because he wasn't approved. I've had that buyer give me that agent's number, and I've called that agent and said, look, we can work something out so that we can bid on the house for you and help you out and help you so that you can help your client. That relationship a buyer and an agent have. The agent's the one that knows everything about the buyer, knows exactly what they're looking for, and so it's only fair that agent be able to represent them.
And it's the right thing to do.
And it's the right thing to do, and we will help out with that process.
Can we go back a little
Pre-approval
bit?
letter.
Oh, sorry.
Very important.
Yeah, very important. We talk about owner occupants, and I know everybody out there right now is quote unquote an investor. I would like to invest in some real estate. I get that all day long.
I would like to eventually live in that property.
So tell us a little bit about the owner occupancy requirement for HUD, because I know that tends to have investors try to snake in and say, well, I'm going to live there.
Okay, an owner-occupant doesn't have to be your first home. Okay, an owner-occupant under the HUD guidelines means, one, you have not purchased a previous HUD home as an owner-occupant within the last 24 months. Two, you intend to occupy the property as your principal residence.
So your tax returns, your paycheck stubs, your bills, everything gets shipped to that house, people.
Exactly.
You lay your head there.
It's the key word is your primary residence. You're going to live in the
home.
house.
Right, okay.
It can't be a vacation home. It can't be a home you're going to buy and leave vacant for a year, vacant for 3 months. You have to occupy it for 12 consecutive months as your primary residence.
Okay. Thank you for clearing that up.
So as long as you're under that, you can bid on a HUD home.
I just think it's
during the first bidding process.
So
it's really cute when they start trying to finagle how it could be.
What happens, Sal, when you have a potential buyer that comes to you and says, hey, can you show me this house? Great. You're out there, you see the property, and then as the conversation continues, you're thinking to yourself, this person's not planning on residing in the property.
That's one of the things. I mean, as an agent, ethics takes place. That's the first and foremost. You have to respect the guidelines, the rules. And another thing, I mean, if you do get a buyer that is an investor, which I get all the time, saying I'm going to live in the property, and after you've spoke with them, talked with them, and you go over everything, you notice they live in a 300,000 square foot home. Why are they buying this 900 square foot home? It's not going to happen.
We're downsizing.
And still keep the other home. Right. As an agent, you have to take the initiative to tell them, I know you're losing your commission and all, but you have to tell them, look, these are the guidelines, and as an agent, you're protecting your buyer. So you would be
have you ever had a potential buyer get upset because you
I've had them tell me some choice words for not submitting
even better,
submitting an offer. And the one thing is, if you're an investor trying to pose as an owner occupant, on some of these homes there is a stiff penalty. It's about $250,000 and 2 years in federal prison.
That's a lot of rent.
So
I think they call that Club Fed, don't they?
Club Fed?
Yes. and so that is one of the strict guidelines. That once you get to that verbiage, it usually scares off the investors posing as owner occupants. So again, here is the guidelines that have been set up to help steer these investors away from the bidding on a home when it's only for an owner-occupant. So there is that opportunity, again, for the owner-occupants out there. Now, if the owner-occupants don't take the opportunity and bid on the property, once it comes up for investor period, those houses are usually gone that first day of the investor period, because they're just waiting out there like hawks for these things.
Good descriptive.
Scavengers. Sal, tell us a little bit about how the bids are submitted and reviewed.
Okay. Well, again, on all bids for HUD homes, you have the initial, if it's going to be a home that's approved for FHA financing, the appraisal has already been completed, and the house is going to qualify for an owner-occupant to purchase it. First 10 days it's on the market, it is for the homeowners to go and view the property. On the 10th day at 11:59, and 59 seconds p.m. Central Standard Time, the bidding portal goes down. Not a second later. All those bids will be opened up the following business day, and HUD will select the highest net offer amount to HUD, meaning the highest offer that is submitted, including if you're asking for closing costs, that's going to be considered into the transaction. So we'll say $100,000. Somebody submits a $100,000 bid, no closing costs, and another person submits a $100,000 bid and 1 penny closing cost. The person that's going to win the bid is $100,000 with no closing cost by a penny. That's how narrow.
That's how specific.
That's how specific it is. It's the net amount that you submit. HUD will decide who gets the bid. Doesn't matter about financing. So again, here's another part where on HUD Homes, another benefit. Doesn't matter if it's cash, FHA, if you're using a second loan from the California for help with closing costs.
Private money.
Does not matter. HUD is only looking at the dollar amount submitted. So in essence, if you're an FHA buyer, you can compete against the cash offers without any issues.
Nice.
Okay?
Good to know. Good to know. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that Sal, Michelle, and myself share with you on the show, it all starts with one call. That's a call from you. Call us anytime, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. You can also check out our resources online. Go to our website. You can just ask Craig. Yeah, go to valleywidesells.com. To friend us on Facebook, use Press 4 Keywords.
Friend Valleywide on Facebook.
Or use Press 4 Keywords.
KMJ, call Valleywide.
To get connected to us anytime, we'd love to hear from you. Well, when we return, what's the best type of financing that could be used to acquire a HUD home? Well, we've got, again, Sal Hernandez here in the studio with us from Valleywide Homes. Make sure you stay with us. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping you to redefine real estate here on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
All it takes is one call to the professionals at Valleywide Homes, and you'll start building wealth in real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing investment property, let the experts at Valleywide Homes help. There's never been a better time to get into the real estate market. Visit our website at reofresnohomes.com or call toll-free 800-979-3958. That's 800-979-3958. And put the seasoned professionals of Valleywide Homes to work for you. Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use Press 4 Keywords, Arise Solar.
Did you know that all the tickets you can buy on different websites come from the same place? Did you know that you can buy every ticket you need to any event in the country, the whole country, from Pete's Seats right here in Fresno? If that's the case, you need to call Pete's Seats. Any ticket, anytime. Sports, concerts, theater. Hey, there's seats, and then there's Pete's Seats. Premium tickets for all events, local, national, worldwide. Don't settle for a regular seat when you can get a really good Pete's Seat. Online at peteseats.net or simply 294-SEAT. That's 294-7328.
How much should I be saving? When can I retire? What can I do to ensure that my estate will be left in the hands of my family once I'm gone? Is my hard-earned money safe in today's markets?
With all the uncertainty in today's world, all of us at the Island Group know it is our job to provide answers to these questions. Walk with us, the Island Group at UBS Financial Services. Call me, Kate Island, at 559-248-4097. That's 559-248-4097. And take the first step in protecting your financial future.
All rights reserved. UBS Financial Services, Inc. is a subsidiary of UBS AG. Member SIPC.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, Sal, let's ask the question. How is a HUD home financed?
Well, a HUD home is financed whichever way the buyer is, whatever loan they're qualified with. The best type of loan to use for a HUD home is an FHA loan.
Why is that the best?
Well, there's already an FHA appraisal on file for every one of these.
The appraisal's on fire out in the hallway. I don't know if you
It's
noticed before
burning
we came
up.
in the studio, yeah.
You know, these homes here, every one of these is appraised prior to it being listed. The listed price is the appraised value, and that is an FHA appraisal. What
You know,
that
in today's
means-
market, that's
Yes.
got to be a positive thing, because with prices rising as much as we've seen in Fresno County and California as a whole, that's got to be a comforting thing for a buyer to a certain degree. that
Overall,
it's
you're
what the
going
value
in there.
is.
You're at the value. If you want to pay more than what the value is, you're allowed to pay more. And so ultimately, the reason it's the best type of financing for these homes is you don't have to pay for any appraisal, and ultimately any repairs that have been called out by the appraisal are already segmented off on the loan that you have to repair as in a repair escrow. So in essence, if you're trying to come in with the conventional loan, and let's just say this appraiser already called out there was a missing toilet, okay, and a broken window that needed to be replaced, and they've already called it out in the repairs for the FHA appraisal. If you try to go in with the conventional, more than likely your deal's going to fall apart because no repairs are allowed whatsoever.
Right.
So in essence,
prior to the close.
prior to the close of escrow, none of these repairs are allowed. So the best type of financing would be FHA financing.
Because FHA allows you to do a repair escrow. It allows you to put that
It allows you
into
to
your
put
loan and that allocated amount into escrow to
yes,
repair
repairs up to $5,000
Right.
that are called either by the underwriter or the appraisal as minimum required repairs required to do an FHA loan can be financed into your loan. And these repairs are all done after close of escrow. With the conventional loan, or even some private money loans, they don't give you that opportunity.
Right.
So some of these homes, you might think, from a buyer standpoint, everybody that's out there is saying, well, I'm having to compete against all these conventional buyers and cash and so forth. On a HUD home, it really doesn't matter what type of financing you use, and the best one is FHA to begin with. So you're an FHA buyer, don't be scared of these homes. Get out there, take a look at them, bid on them, make an offer, and more than likely, if you don't get it originally because your bid wasn't there, it wasn't high enough, you might still have an opportunity down the road.
Now, me being an agent,
Yes.
I like to get paid to work sometimes. So I know,
How do you really feel?
I really feel like I do a service.
You like to
and
get paid. You're not a nonprofit? Is that what you're trying
I'm
to
not.
say?
Well,
Sometimes you
I don't
feel
know.
like,
You wonder sometimes.
you
probably.
feel like
No,
a
I'm kidding.
nonprofit? Oh, no.
No, but I think agents out there
Johnny Van
probably
Hurt.
wondered, are they going to get paid the same on HUD transactions as they do other transactions?
Yes, everyone. Well, I mean, some other transactions out there are 1% and 2%. I just seen one listed.
HUD?
Not on
Oh,
HUD.
okay, you confused me there for
I
a
just seen
minute.
another transaction the other day listed at 0% on
Are you
the
kidding?
MLS.
Did they have a dollar amount?
Okay.
$12. We're going to pay you for
so
one.
from a
trick
seller
fee.
standpoint, from a agent standpoint on HUD homes, they
There's-
pay up to 3% on every one of these
Okay.
transactions. So you're
So-
going to get paid the 3% sales
Your agents
commission.
are still going to get paid.
Yes.
And then as far as closing costs, what kind of closing costs do they allow
Closing
for?
cost, HUD allows up to 3% of the closing cost
Okay.
of the sales price or purchase price of the home for buyers.
Awesome.
Again, very important. You have to take into consideration how much closing costs you need. Remember, on HUD homes, it's the net offer to HUD. So the highest net to HUD is the winning bidder.
Gotcha.
So if you don't need the 3% closing costs, don't ask for the 3%. If you can ask for less, it's a very competitive market out there right now. So you can possibly win this house even by a penny. So every bit that you don't have to ask for is going to count for you to be able to win this house.
That should be an underlying strategy. If you're a buyer in today's market, or if you're an agent and you're representing a buyer in today's market, that should be your underlying strategy, just for the simple fact that if you're asking for the seller to pay anything, you're asking the seller to take less net for their property, which really makes your offer less competitive. So if you've been looking at properties for any extended period of time and you didn't have money, hopefully now you've had the opportunity to save money so that you're able to make your offers more competitive. So regardless of whether it's a HUD home or not, that should be...
Yeah, I mean, and HUD homes, I mean, you start looking at some of the benefits. I mean, we already mentioned appraisal, so that's $450. So typically on a traditional sale, you're going to be asking for, closing costs. On a HUD home, you already know you can reduce your closing costs you're asking for by $450 right off the bat.
And also, isn't it true, Sal, that with a HUD home that the seller pays for 100% of the escrow fee as well?
They do pay for 100% of the escrow fee, so that typically can be another savings of another $500 to $750 that's going to save you. So again, there goes another opportunity for you to be able to reduce your closing cost.
And I think if those agents out there need advice, they need to call, because it all has to do with how you structure your offer. Are you asking for that seller to pay for everything, all your inspections and your warranties and all of those things? Then you're probably not doing your buyer much help,
right?
Because that all is about the net.
Right,
exactly.
So
you mentioned inspections,
and so closing costs aren't as big an issue in some cases if you're nickel and diming them on all the other stuff.
It's work with your real estate agent. The best thing on HUD homes is get with a knowledgeable agent that understands the HUD process. As with any other transaction, if they understand the process, the houses you're bidding on, they'll be able to advise you and structure you so that you know exactly how much closing costs you need to ask for to make your offer more competitive.
Right.
In the same sense, is there's lenders out there that'll help you out on actually paying some of that closing cost, or there's programs that will, you can get a second loan and it's payable at a very low interest rate, or some are even forgiven depending on the city you're in. You can get into a county program and submit an offer with help from those agencies. And HUD does not discriminate against the type of financing.
Right.
So you will have the opportunity, just as high opportunity as a cash buyer, as using every available county program available to you when submitting offers on a HUD home.
Right. So with the market being as competitive as it is, how many offers do you find are overbids, that they're coming in and they're in excess of asking? And what's tricky about an offer that's in excess of asking that you have an appraisal completed already?
Well, on HUD homes, the tricky part on HUD homes is right now, because it's very competitive, everybody is trying to offer more money on these homes. Remember, HUD homes, there is an appraisal issued on the property. The list price is the appraised value. So in essence, if you're using FHA financing, house is listed at $100,000, you make a bid of $105,000. Because that appraisal is already on file and you're using FHA finance, you are responsible for the $5,000 difference. Or I forgot what number I said. Was it 100?
It was 100. You're right. We got you. We're on board. That's the appraised value is 100.
You are responsible between the bid amount and the appraised value if you're using FHA financing. If you're using any other type of financing, then you hope that that house will appraise for that value. If it doesn't, you're still responsible for the difference between your appraised value of a conventional appraisal, private money conventional, between that offer amount and your appraised value. HUD will not renegotiate price. So that's really important.
Once it comes
accepted.
in, I gotcha.
Yeah, so
okay.
really
Once you're in contract,
important.
you're stuck.
Yeah, really important.
I don't
So
mean that in a negative way, but
no, but you've committed to something.
You've committed to something.
Right.
Sure.
I just spoke with an agent the other day. He called me all excited, saying, "Hey, I submitted an offer on a home we have listed in Sanger, and he bid over $15,000."
Wow!
And he said, "Hey, you know what? We're going FHA. We're just going to get another appraisal afterwards." I told him, "I'm sorry, you cannot get another appraisal. The appraisal on file is the only one that can be used. Your buyer will have to be responsible for the difference."
What was his response?
He was very sad at that. Wow. He had to go talk to his buyer and tell him, "Sorry, we have to remodify."
Sorry, I was mistaken, and our original strategy is not
sell
going
your
to
car
work.
and your kid, and we might be able to do this
The
deal.
reason he was willing to offer $15,000 over, because the price of the house, the value when you compare it to the comparables, probably will come in about another $15,000 to $20,000 higher than the list price.
Mm-hmm.
That's
because our prices are going up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's the value, and so with a lot of FHA buyers out there, that keeps the pricing at close to the listed price.
Right. Right.
And if you whatever money you are going to bid over, whatever money you're saving on the closing costs, whatever money you're able to get on the second financing for closing costs, then you can use those funds for the overbid amount. So that'll be some help there.
Everybody's an investor. That's a great way to become one. No, I mean, honestly,
Everybody's
if you don't own a
investor and
home,
speculator.
it's a great way to buy your first home and become a investor in the long term as far as your personal investment.
Homeownership is an investment vehicle.
That's it.
Everyone wants to buy.
Because that kind of
live there.
equity draw, I mean, over the last 6 months just continues to grow. So that's what those investors are out there making a profit off of, and you can just profit your family and your primary residence.
It sounds to me like it's extremely important, number one, as far as the process is concerned. It's not difficult per se, but it's extremely important to make sure that you have someone in your corner, like Sal, that's educated, that understands the HUD process, understands the do's and the don'ts, understands, yes, you might be able to ask for closing costs and prepaids, but does it pay or does it weaken your offer? And based upon experience, especially, Sal's been involved in over a couple hundred of these over the last couple of years. I'd want someone in my corner that understands what they're doing.
Yeah, overall, I mean, HUD Home's a very easy process for both agents and buyers. For agents, it's pretty straightforward. You submit an offer online. Once it's submitted, it gets reviewed, and it's the highest net offer to HUD that gets picked.
And go ahead.
I was just going to mention that it does take a lot of the variables out. As an agent who's out there making offers, the appraisal is a variable we don't have control over until it comes in at a later date. HUD eliminates that. As far as the lending side, repair escrow, that's another piece of the puzzle that HUD takes the questions out of. They've already told you what a repair escrow looks like. So there's a lot of the variables that we as agents have on traditional sales and bank-owned properties out there that HUD has already eliminated to make your life easier.
Yes, it's a very straightforward process and extremely easy. I mean, for buyers and agents, another benefit is you both as a buyer and an agent, there's always that question, how long before we hear something back from the seller?
Right.
How long before I get an answer?
Right.
With HUD, you already know the day you're going to get an answer. There is a bid deadline. The next business day after the bid deadline, you'll have an answer if you won the bid or not. So it's pretty easy on that sense. There's no suspense of having to wait, for weeks to hear back from a seller. Also, talked home inspections. That buyers, another benefit. Buyers have 15 days to do an inspection on a house, and if they find something wrong with it, they can bring it up, put it into a repair escrow, or lo and behold, cancel a deal and get their earnest money back.
There you go. So if someone would like to get a hold of you, Sal, your number, 519-3103.
Yes,
that's area code 559-519-3103. If you'd like to talk to a HUD Homes expert, and that's Sal Hernandez from Valley-Wide Homes, and put the expertise of our expert to work for you. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that Sal, Michelle, or myself share with you on our show, we'd like to hear from you. Give us a call anytime. 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. You can also check out our resources online. Go to our website. Search for your new home at valleywidesells.com. To friend us on Facebook, use Press4 keywords.
Friend Valley-Wide on Facebook.
Or use Press4 keywords.
KMJ, call Valley-Wide.
To call into the show anytime or to call in to us anytime. We'd love to hear from you. Well, coming up, Jillian from Fresno asks, I understand the market is tight and inventory is low, but why is it that my realtor continually suggests that I offer 15% over list price?
Wow.
Yeah, well, we're going to take that listener question, and Michelle, it's going to be interesting to see what you and Sal have to say about that when we return. Make sure you stay with us. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping you to redefine real estate here on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Mortgage interest rates are at historic lows, and there's never been a more affordable time to buy real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let the mortgage professionals at Valley-Wide help. Valley-Wide Homes has been helping homeowners with their mortgage needs since 1997. When it comes to the Valley's real estate, we know our way around the neighborhood. Call toll-free 800-979-3958 and put the seasoned professionals at Valley-Wide Homes to work for you. Valley-Wide Homes, NMLS number 342062. 235-952. California Department of Real Estate License 0122-8460. Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use press 4 keywords, Arise Solar.
Did you know that all the tickets you can buy on different websites come from the same place? Did you know that you can buy every ticket you need to any event in the country? The whole country, from Pete's Seats right here in Fresno. If that's the case, you need to call Pete's Seats. Any ticket, anytime. Sports, concerts, theater. Hey, there's seats, and then there's Pete's Seats. Premium tickets for all events, local, national, worldwide. Don't settle for a regular seat when you can get a really good Pete's Seat. Online at peteseats.net or simply 294-SEAT. That's 294-7328.
How much should I be saving? When can I retire? What can I do to ensure that my estate will be left in the hands of my family once I'm gone? Is my hard-earned money safe in today's markets?
With all the uncertainty in today's world, all of us at the Island Group know it is our job to provide answers to these questions. Walk with us, the Island Group at UBS Financial Services. Call me, Kate Island, at 559-248-4097. That's 559-248-4097, and take the first step in protecting your financial future.
All rights reserved. UBS Financial Services, Inc. is a subsidiary of UBS AG. Member SIPC.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
You know, Jillian from Fresno asks, I understand the market is tight and inventory is low, but why is it that my realtor continually suggests that I offer 15% over list price? Any takers? This could be a whole
I think this could be a whole show. And I think it depends on if you're buying as your primary residence.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not an investment. This is not a game. This is not roulette. I think that if your agent is suggesting you do that, then I would hope that they would have information supporting that number. So, for instance, comps for the neighborhood.
Yep.
Recent information about what's going on in the market and the pricing,
a competitive market analysis.
Competitive information to justify it, because I think that's really, really important in this market. Because I personally don't want my buyers walking into a house being upside down on what the true value is.
Because it sounds to me like what Jillian's experiencing is this is her agent's strategy.
Standard operating procedure?
To get her offer submitted and accepted.
Okay.
My other question.
That's a different issue.
Well, but it's also a problem, though.
No, it is a problem.
You know, you said upside down. I mean, ultimately, I think in this market right now, because it is so competitive, you really it's whatever you can afford for that, and that's my take. If you can afford it, if the house is only worth $100,000,
it's worth it to you, and I don't disagree with that.
And you can afford $5,000 more.
I don't disagree.
After as an agent, we've done our due diligence. We've
shared the information.
We've shared the information. We've given you the competitive market analysis. Now, having said that. At that point, if you can afford it, how bad do you want the house?
This is a home. This is something you're buying to live in. It's not, in a sense, ultimately everybody comes back and says it's an investment, but this is somewhere you're going to spend your time with your family. But
the reality is, on the lending side, 15% over market, if it's truly over market value, isn't going to float
that's speculation.
For every buyer.
Sure.
So you have to be careful and be educating them through the process, because in some cases, like with the HUD, they've got to have the cash to come in with the difference, and if they don't have the cash, it doesn't make sense.
I'd be curious how many offers that Jillian's agent has submitted for her that hasn't gotten accepted, because it sounds to me
like it's
consistent. Like Jillian's questioning, why is she asking me to do this consistently?
Right.
And now the next question out of Jillian's mouth is going to be, now, if I'm doing that consistently.
And I'm not achieving the bid.
Why? Mm-hmm. I think a selling agent can
and a receiving
sniff that out.
A listing agent is going to look at that bid and say,
it's not real.
Are they crack smoking?
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Another
you
thing we don't know,
they
could be asking 15% more, but at the same time, asking for closing costs, asking for termite repair,
Correct.
Asking for
Correct.
everything
Good
else,
point.
which
Very
is
good point.
diminishing that 15%.
Because it's taken off the net. It's taking it off, dwindling it down to nothing.
Each individual property is its own little microcosm. It's extremely important that there could be certain variables that are specific or unique to that particular transaction. But just saying that your strategy is to offer 15%
Standard.
over list price, and that's standard, is dangerous to say the least. And it's grounds for ethical.
Yeah, there's some ethical question there,
Yeah.
and I would definitely want to see justification for the numbers. And even the activity in the market, we all know that if a client really, really wants a particular property and there's 20 bids they're competing with, they have to decide to what degree
How
do they
aggressive
want
do they
it.
want to be?
How
Yeah.
aggressive do they want to be? How much overbid do they want to do? And that's for each individual person as well,
Yes.
not for the agent to decide.
Yeah.
Yeah, all we can do is suggest ultimately, and the one that has the final say-so is the buyer.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a very good point. A dose of common sense is extremely important to make sure you interject into the transaction. A standard strategy, I think, is extremely dangerous. Once you've been given your competitive market analysis, hopefully your agent has done the homework for you, and then at that point, based upon the amount of cash that you have in the bank, the type of financing that you qualify for, go for it. Whatever go for it means to you.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that Sal, Michelle, or myself share with you on our show, give us a call anytime. 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. You can also go to our website. Check out our resources online. Search for your new home at valleywidesells.com. To friend us on Facebook, use Press 4 keywords.
Friend Valley White on Facebook.
Or use Press 4 keywords.
A&J call Valley White.
To call into the show anytime. We'd love to hear from you. Well, special thank you to Sal Hernandez from Valley White Homes, our local HUD Homes expert, for getting up this early Sunday morning and sharing some expertise and some wisdom with us here in the studio. And a big thank you to Michelle Pettis.
Thanks, Gregor.
Michelle Lynn Pettis, excuse me.
Wowzers.
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
Sal, again, if they want to get a hold of you, 559-519-3103.
That's
Again,
correct.
519-3103. Johnny B, also, you always make us sound so good, buddy. Thank you so much. Again, our goal at the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you, our listeners, the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate market, so we can help bring you
Back home.
Don't forget to tune in to the Real Estate Radio Network next Sunday at 7 a.m. right here on 105.9, the FM KMJ. Local news, local talk. Make it a great day, Central Valley, and we will see you next week.
The preceding program was paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network.